GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon. Tragic news this morning as a house fire in Etobicoke claimed a life, and a truck crash on Highway 404 near Finch took another. We'll also check tonight's heavy rain emergency in Southwold and the traffic snarls around Sobeys Stadium. Over to you, Nathan.
Jerkfest Toronto kicks off today at the Harbourfront Centre, featuring live reggae bands, Caribbean food stalls, and cooking demos from renowned jerk chefs.
Doors open at 11 a.m., with general admission tickets priced at $15, while families receive a discounted rate of $12 each.
The festival spans the main pavilion and waterfront promenade, offering authentic Jamaican jerk chicken, pork, tofu options, and a dedicated kids' activity zone.
All right, plenty of excitement ahead, so let's dive in and get started with the day in Toronto's vibrant lunch hour. Here are our top stories.
A residential fire erupted early Saturday in Etobicoke, claiming the life of an unidentified man, while Toronto Police and Fire Services launch an investigation into the cause. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
A blaze broke out in a residential home in Etobicoke early Saturday morning, leaving a single occupant dead. Toronto Fire Services crews arrived on scene within minutes, battling intense flames that quickly engulfed the structure. Firefighters reported that the house was fully involved before they could gain entry, and the victim was found unresponsive inside. Police have not released an identity for the man and are treating the case as an ongoing investigation. Toronto Police Service officers are canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses and gathering evidence to determine the cause of the fire. The incident remains under investigation, and authorities have not ruled out any possibilities at this stage. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Etobicoke.
A pedestrian was killed Saturday morning when a transport truck struck them in the southbound lanes of Highway 404 near Finch Avenue East. Dev Shohri has the full story.
A transport truck hit a pedestrian on the southbound lanes of Highway 404 near Finch Avenue East just after 6 a.m. Saturday, resulting in one fatality. Emergency crews arrived quickly, securing the scene and directing traffic while paramedics confirmed the victim did not survive. Police are conducting an investigation into the circumstances of the collision. The crash occurred on a stretch of the highway that handles a high volume of commercial traffic throughout the day. Drivers were advised to use alternate routes as officers worked to clear the wreckage and restore normal flow. No other vehicles were reported injured in the incident on site. Dev Shohri, GMNA News, Finch.
Toronto police say organized crime groups are using encrypted messaging apps to recruit young people and have made arrests following 2 gunfire incidents at the U.S. consulate, but Bill C-22 limits investigative tools. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Police say organized crime groups are exploiting encrypted messaging apps to lure teenagers into illicit activities, including alleged gun-for-hire schemes. The Toronto Police Service announced arrests following 2 separate gunfire incidents at the U.S. consulate in downtown Toronto earlier this week. Investigators say the shooters remain unidentified because Bill C-22 does not provide the surveillance tools they need to trace encrypted communications. Officials from the U.S. consulate confirmed the incidents, but declined to comment on ongoing investigations. Federal authorities acknowledge the legislation limits their ability to compel service providers for data, complicating efforts to disrupt recruitment pipelines. The police continue to pursue leads while urging communities to remain vigilant in the area. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Downtown Toronto.
Toronto police fatally shot a driver early Thursday in Mississauga, prompting a subsequent investigation that led to 3 arrests on firearm possession charges. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Police say the confrontation began before dawn on Thursday, August 6th, when officers in Mississauga attempted to stop a vehicle they believed was linked to an ongoing investigation. The driver, who refused to comply, was shot by Toronto police and later pronounced dead at the scene. In the hours that followed, detectives rounded up 3 men suspected of illegal firearm possession, charging them collectively with 42 counts ranging from possession of a prohibited weapon to trafficking. The arrests were made at separate locations across the city, and the suspects are being held pending court appearances. No other injuries were reported, and the investigation remains active. Police officials said they will release a full report once the internal review is completed. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Mississauga.
Toronto police warn scammers are coercing residents to purchase high-end phones, smartwatches, and tablets on behalf of fraud rings, a scheme spanning from October 21 to July 26. Dev Showri has the full story.
Scammers have been calling Torontonians, pretending to be employees of well-known companies, and convincing them to purchase high-end smartphones, smartwatches, or tablets on the scammers' behalf. Police say the fraudsters then use the devices for illegal activities, leaving victims with hefty bills and damaged credit. The scheme has been reported repeatedly from October 21 through July 26, with dozens of complaints filed across the city. Victims describe the callers as polite, often citing urgent business needs or security upgrades, and they are urged to send payment through prepaid cards or online transfers before the devices are shipped. Officers warn anyone asked to buy electronics for a stranger to verify the request independently, immediately. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Toronto.
Later, we'll look at the tragic TTC streetcar accident that took a 62-year-old man's life in the East End. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. A 62-year-old man was killed after being struck by a TTC streetcar in Toronto's East End Friday evening, police said. The incident underscores ongoing safety concerns on the transit network. Dev Showri has the full story.
On Friday afternoon, the 7th of August 2026, police say a 62-year-old man was struck by a Toronto Transit Commission streetcar in the city's East End. The collision occurred at approximately 5:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and emergency responders confirmed the man died at the scene. Toronto Police Service officers arrived within minutes, securing the intersection and beginning an investigation into the circumstances of the crash. Police secured the scene, gathered evidence, and launched a standard investigation into the fatal collision. No other passengers or vehicles were reported injured, and the streetcar continued to its next stop after the incident. Authorities have asked anyone with additional information to come forward. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Toronto.
RCMP seized over 170 kilograms of cocaine, valued at roughly $4.5 million, in southern Ontario on August 7th, charging 3 men with drug trafficking. Dev Showri has the full story.
Authorities seized more than 170 kilograms of cocaine in a coordinated operation across southern Ontario on August 7, 2026. The street value of the haul is estimated at roughly $4.5 million. Officers from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police apprehended 3 individuals suspected of drug trafficking as part of the bust. The men are now facing charges that could carry lengthy prison terms. This operation forms part of a broader crackdown aimed at dismantling large-scale narcotics networks that have been flooding communities throughout the province. Investigators say the seizure will disrupt a significant supply line and send a clear signal to organized crime groups operating in the region. Dev Showri, GMNA News, London.
Intense rain swamped Southwold streets, prompting the township to declare a state of emergency and begin immediate road repairs throughout the local community and surrounding area. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Heavy rain hammered Southwold yesterday, sending water spilling onto the main streets and side roads. Municipal crews rushed to the scene, assessing dozens of flooded sections that left drivers stranded. By late afternoon, township officials declared a state of emergency, unlocking resources to begin immediate road repairs. Workers have already set up temporary barriers and are deploying pumps to drain water from the worst-hit arteries. Residents are being advised to avoid the affected corridors while crews clear debris and reinforce vulnerable spots. The emergency declaration will remain in effect until the water recedes and repairs are completed, officials said. The township expects the repairs to take several days, with priority given to the highway that connects to the nearby town of Strathroy. Crews from municipalities have been dispatched to assist. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Southwold.
The Brockville Aquarium in Ontario added 3 North American river otter pups to its family of 5 rescued otters, expanding its conservation program. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
3 newborn North American river otters have just joined the family at the Brockville Aquarium. The pups arrived early this morning, their tiny bodies bundled in warm blankets as staff gently transferred them into the otter habitat. They now share the pool with 5 rescued otters that the facility has been caring for since they were rescued in the United States. Keepers are monitoring the newcomers around the clock, checking temperature, feeding schedules, and social interactions to ensure a smooth integration. Visitors will soon be able to watch the playful introductions as the young otters begin to explore the water and learn the ropes from their older companions. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Brockville.
A new poll shows John Chow leading the Toronto mayoral race, while Chris Alexander has surged to as much as 10% support, reflecting shifting voter preferences among multiple candidates. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
A fresh poll released on August 7, 2026, puts John Chow at the top of the mayoral race in Toronto, with a comfortable lead over his rivals. The same survey shows former diplomat Chris Alexander climbing to as high as 10% support, a notable jump from earlier numbers. The poll, conducted by a local research firm, surveyed over 3,000 likely voters across the city. Voter sentiment appears to be shifting as the field of candidates narrows, with some residents citing concerns over transit, housing affordability, and public safety as key factors influencing their choices. Campaign teams are adjusting their outreach, and the next few weeks could see further movement before ballots are cast later this year. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what this afternoon has in store for us.
A southerly jet stream is loading the Great Lakes, priming Toronto for late-day showers today. On this date, Toronto once baked to 32.9 degrees in 2007, a record set during an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the city into the mid-30s for several days. The opposite extreme fell to 14.1 degrees in 2004, when a deep Arctic surge slipped south and produced a sudden cold snap across the province. Normal August 8th highs sit near 27 degrees with lows around 22. So today's 26-degree high feels comfortably below the historic peak, yet well above the historic low. The live radar shows a band of moderate echoes gathering over the western lake shore, drifting eastward under the southwest jet. The cells are expected to arrive over the Toronto core around 6 p.m., intensify through early evening, then exit to the northeast after 8 p.m. The rest of the region remains echo-free, confirming a dry, stable air mass for the afternoon. With precipitation timing clear, let's turn to today's outlook. At noon, Toronto sits under a thick overcast with temperature 22 degrees, humidity 98% and a dew point of 21 degrees. Wind is light at 6 kilometers per hour from the southwest, but pressure is falling, signaling an unsettled system moving in from the west. A fast southwest jet at 114 kilometers per hour aloft is steering moist air toward the region, thickening clouds and setting the stage for the evening rain band. UV index reads 5. Wind gusts will reach 26 kilometers per hour from the southwest, giving a noticeable breeze. No weather alerts are active. As the clouds thicken, we now look ahead to the 5-day evolution. Sunday brings a high near 26 degrees and a low around 18, with a clear sky for most of the day and a 30% chance of an isolated shower late in the evening. Monday stays warm at a high of 27 and a low of 19, but an overcast blanket returns and the same 30% rain probability persists, especially in the afternoon. Tuesday cools slightly to a high of 26 and a low of 18 under a bright, clear sky and no measurable rain risk. Wednesday holds at 24 to 28 degrees, clear throughout, offering a quiet mid-week stretch. Thursday rounds the week with a high of 23 and a low of 19, mainly clear with only a 20% chance of drizzle. The pattern reflects a lingering southwest flow that will keep temperatures modest and occasional moisture in play. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, we break down tonight's heavy traffic near Sobeys Stadium, preview Jerkfest and the new Harborfront Pizzeria. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Yonge Street is closed from Dundas Street west to Shooter Street, turning a major north-south artery into a full blockage. Drivers are being rerouted onto Bay Street and College Street, adding roughly 15 minutes to downtown trips. A lane closure on Queen Street west near Yonge pushes eastbound traffic onto Richmond Street, creating short queues that should clear by mid-morning. Elsewhere, heavy congestion builds around the Sobeys Stadium area as the National Bank Open draws crowds. Expect slower speeds on the Gardiner and the Don Valley Parkway near the stadium entrances. On the GO side, Lakeshore West Line construction continues, with eastbound trains running on a single track and limited westbound service. Commuters heading downtown should anticipate longer wait times at Union Station and consider alternate routes. Overall, most other arterial roads remain clear, so traffic should move smoothly outside the highlighted zones this afternoon.
First up, the Taco and Tequila Festival kicks off at Assembly Park in Vaughan, a food and music celebration where tacos, tequila, and live beats flow all day. It's the perfect spot for a weekend brunch with friends. Next, Jerkfest Toronto brings dancehall superstar Spice to the stage, marking 25 years of Caribbean flavor right here in the city. Spice's set will have the crowd moving all night. If you're looking for a free night out, head to Nest for the Gasolina Reggaeton Party. Ladies get in free and a complimentary drink with non-stop Latin rhythms. The dance floor stays packed till sunrise. Over on Danforth, the Taste of Danforth is still serving up street eats and vibes, perfect for a quick bite between errands. Vendors showcase everything from poutine to Caribbean tacos. And keep an eye on tomorrow's play on the runway at Downsview Airport, a playground with music and zones you won't want to miss. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Morning buzz, Toronto sports ignite as baseball drama and basketball depth take center stage. The Blue Jays escaped a late game scare, holding off Philadelphia by 5-4 at Citizens Bank Park. Rookie outfielder Brett Bateman announced his arrival with a double in his first major league at-bat, injecting fresh energy into a lineup that nearly slipped away in the final innings. Toronto's front office unveiled a clear plan for new arm Jose Soriano, mirroring the blueprint they used with Dylan Cease. Soriano's solid debut in the tight victory over Philadelphia signals a potential rotation anchor, and fans should watch his third time-through performance as the stretch run approaches. The Raptors bolstered their bench by signing an NCAA champion, adding depth to a roster hungry for a deeper playoff push. While the newcomer's name isn't disclosed, the move underscores Toronto's commitment to infuse proven winning experience, and the coaching staff will likely integrate him into wing rotations soon.
Tuscan Wolf Pizzeria has just opened its first Toronto spot at 59 Merchants Wharf, Unit G, right on the Harborfront Boardwalk. The Whitby-based shop, celebrated for its award-winning Tuscan-style pies and house-made pastas, brings the signature Olimpo half calzone, half pizza to the waterfront. Chef Marco Russo says the new kitchen blends classic Italian wood-fire techniques with fresh, local seafood, giving the neighborhood a taste of Italy by the lake. The launch creates dozens of jobs and adds a family-friendly dining option for residents and tourists strolling the promenade. It's the kind of hometown flavor that turns a walk along the water into a shared celebration of Toronto's culinary diversity, and locals can already hear the ovens crackle from the patio. Stay tuned as we dive into the latest police arrests linked to the fatal Salsa Festival shooting, coming up after this break. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Toronto has launched its 2026 budget consultations, opening a citywide dialogue so residents can directly shape how their money is spent. Officials say the process will roll out at City Hall and across neighborhoods over the coming weeks. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing on the polished marble steps of Toronto City Hall, the morning sun glinting off the council chamber windows as a modest crowd gathers beneath the iconic green dome. Councillor Shelley Carroll steps up to the podium, her voice echoing through the vaulted space while a digital countdown ticks on the large screen behind her, marking the launch of the 2026 budget consultations. Residents clutch tablets, some scrolling through the online survey, others chatting about the 6 in-person and virtual sessions scheduled across the city. The air hums with conversation about affordability, mobility, safety, and service stability, as a local parent points to a map of proposed transit upgrades that could cut her commute by 10 minutes. City staff hand out glossy flyers, and a volunteer monitors a live feed of participants joining from neighborhood centers. This moment gives everyday Torontonians a real seat at the table, shaping the financial decisions that affect their daily lives. Carl Dumont virtually at City Hall.
Welcome back. Toronto police announced arrests linked to the July fatal shooting at the Salsa on St. Clair Festival, saying investigators have identified suspects. Myron Demkiw confirmed the operation. Dev Showri has the full story.
Police say they have taken 2 suspects into custody after the fatal shooting that rocked the Salsa on St. Clair Music Festival last month. Detective Myron Demkiw of the Toronto Police Service confirmed the arrests were made early Tuesday, based on evidence gathered since the July incident. The festival, held annually on St. Clair Avenue, was halted when gunfire erupted, leaving 1 person dead and several injured. Officers say the suspects were identified through surveillance footage and witness statements, and are now facing charges related to homicide and firearms offenses. The investigation remains active as detectives continue to piece together how the weapon entered the crowded venue. Dev Showri, GMNA News, St. Clair.
Toronto Transit Commission station supervisors voted overwhelmingly to approve a strike mandate on August 6, 2026, as the city braces for a busy back-to-school transit surge. Dev Showri has the full story.
Station supervisors across the Toronto Transit Commission have cast an overwhelming vote to grant a strike mandate, setting the stage for possible work stoppages. The ballot took place on August 6, 2026, with union officials confirming the result met the threshold for authorization. The decision comes as the city braces for a surge in riders during the upcoming back-to-school period, when demand on buses and subways traditionally spikes. TTC leadership has indicated that negotiations will continue, but the newly approved mandate gives supervisors leverage as they seek better contract terms. No specific dates have been set for any strike action, and service remains uninterrupted for now. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Toronto.
Thanks for joining us, Toronto. Today's story on the police warning about the phone scam reminded us how quickly fraud can strike. Stay safe, keep informed, and tune in tomorrow for more headlines that matter to our city. I'm Jordan Parker. See you then. We'll bring you the latest on traffic, community, and the issues shaping our neighborhoods.